How was the overall experience of Shark Tank?
I think it was pretty interesting, right? I think if people have seen the episode, uh, I, I, I I think the iconic moment of Duglapan really came from our episode, so that was very interesting.
Acha, it started from there.
Yeah,
The dog level was started from there.
yeah,
Acha, wow.
yeah.
Okay, I was not knowing.
That happened. That happened in the Bummer episode.
So you are the part of that
we,
meme.
and for us the philosophy was कि यार the whole industry and the whole product category in India for the last 30-40 years has been so disappointing. वो black, blue, white and grey चड्डी बिक रही है. So Bummer more than us, was a note to the industry saying that hey, we are here now. We are going to change the
Change the industry.
Change the
Okay,
industry,
we are
right?
going to change the landscape.
एंड आई थिंक लास्ट चेरी ऑन टॉप was कि बमर के नाम में वो बम भी था. तो अंडरवेयर से डायरेक्टली कोरिलेट डायरेक्टली विद अंडरवेयर, राइट? सो आई थिंक दैट रियली
That really helped. Welcome to a new episode of The Growth Story, where we unravel the secrets of major e-commerce brands. Today with us, we have Sulay from Bummer. Hi Sulay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So Sulay, can you please tell me brief about your company and your product?
So we started Bummer about 4 years ago. Little under 4 years ago at this point in time. We started more around COVID, but I think the idea of Bummer kind of really stems from a simple idea of why should you take your underwear so seriously, right? And the idea is when I was studying in America, this is about 5-6 years ago, the whole underwear market was so bright, so bold, so exciting, and so non-jockey, right? I think when you look back at India, the only brand that you could ideally think of was Jockey, right?
For young generation, it was a brand.
Exactly, for elders and for younger generation both, right?
Both,
I mean,
yeah.
a 60-year-old dad also probably has been wearing
Wearing a
Jockey for the
Jockey,
last
yeah.
20-30 years of their lives, and so is a 20-25-year-old. Obviously, you've had your Levi's and Bewkoof.coms of the world in the meantime, but I think there was a very large gap for someone very specifically building for the youth, for the younger generation in this category. And beyond that, apparel is something, is a large $1 trillion industry, but always felt that underwear was one industry that was not yet disrupted in apparel.
But there must be any moment where you struck the idea of, okay, let me get into this brand.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
that moment?
So I think that moment has built up for me over the entirety of my life. Because I've grown up in a textile apparel family. So my family has been doing textiles apparel for like 50-60 years now. Right from distribution, trading, retail, that sort of a thing, right? So I think there was always a direct inclination towards apparel. Entirety of my career, the jobs that I've done, internships I've done, practically everything has been in apparel. So it was very clear in my head that if I'm starting something, I want to do it in apparel, right? Very simple as that. And then when we think deeper into apparel is where really underwear comes into the picture, because you think t-shirts, shirts, trousers, pants, jackets, hoodies, fast fashion, outerwear. Till a certain extent, everything has been disrupted. There are brands dominating each category, not just 1, 2, 3 brands, multiple brands dominating each categories. And you think of something like socks as well, right? Being disrupted. But I think underwear was one sort of last industry that I felt had seen very least disruption. And especially given the fact that okay, there are very few people who probably wear socks, okay, or in terms of the TAM of the market, right? You may like to wear socks, I may not like to wear that. That's an absolute person. Underwear, we don't have that option. we both have to like to wear underwear, right? So clearly the market size was very large.
Very large, of course.
So
and I think together with underwear, one thing I noticed that it's a recurring product, which is not there in most of the brands. So if I'm comfortable with one brand, I'll keep buying the same brand. So that's a added advantage being into undergarment. I think that people go for with design. If you sell them, they may go for more of a same brand again and again, I guess. So how do you see your recurring percentage overall in terms
so
of
I think it takes a couple of years or several few years before as a brand we expect to build that kind of a recurring business for Bummer. But I think broadly in terms of where we currently are at, I think we see typical about 40% of our consumer base kind of repeating with us.
That's very good number.
Month on month, or rather 40% of our volume every month is rather recurring.
Okay.
Which is exciting,
but
right?
That's a great brand loyalty, because currently what I see is on like all the D2C brands which are there in the market, there's no major brand loyalty. A new Instagram ad people see and they start buying that thing. So 40%, I would say it's amazing brand loyalty.
40% is good, and I think we are excited by it. But I think when you look at innerwear as a category, I think the ideal benchmark we're trying to target is anything north of about a 60%, right? And while Nykaa may not be a brand, I think we draw there's a lot of inspiration there, because I think in terms of their repeatability, Nykaa has consistently been at about 70% plus.
Again, but Nykaa is a multi-store.
Correct. So not a brand by itself, but I think the way they've built the platform to be so usable by today's broadly women, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But still, right? And same with innerwear brands like Jockey as well, right? I think the level of repeatability and loyalty, I think I would not even consider that. Repeatability to be the largest part of the factor in the innerwear success story. I think lifetime value is what really should be very exciting for us as a brand to look at. If you think about the lifetime value that my dad has delivered to Jockey, for example, right, last 20-30 years, right? Like, I think being loyal to a brand over a larger period of time, whether your frequency may be okay, ठीक है, एक साल में
4 or 5 underwear you
pack of 10 ले लिया, I'm not thinking about it for the next 12 months, right? Forget about it.
Yeah.
But if I continuously have done that for 20 years,
it's amazing.
That is where I think the true value
of
really
the product
of the brand and truly churning that lifetime value of the consumer comes in.
So as we are talking about brand, how difficult is to create a brand, because you may be from the similar industry in, like fabrics and all that, okay? But a Bummer is a totally new brand, okay?
Yeah.
How difficult it is to create a new brand and get into people's mind that okay, we exist.
Yeah.
How can be done, or how difficult it is?
I think that's a very subjective question. But to see, my best understanding is that it is going to be, for us it has been a combination of strong visuals, and I think to nail the answer in one sort of format, I think hitting the absolute right story, the right visuals, the right communication, and the right experience for your target consumer is I think absolutely key in building a brand, right? Whether you want to do it overnight or whether you do it over the next period of 10 years, right? I think the stories are very different, and people who do it overnight or people who do it in less than 5 years, I would say, are quite likely going to be venture funded brands who've had that capital to scale up very, very rapidly, right? Unless, of course, you have your personal capital that you're starting with on a...
you need a lot of money first of all for brand building. That is what you are saying.
I mean, if you want to build anything that's extremely large enough,
okay,
I feel, and then money and time both, of course, right? I think expecting to build $1 billion company in I don't know, less than 5 years, sure. You're probably in the 0.1%.
I think you had got initial funding through some venture capitalists, I guess.
Yes, that was before Shark Tank. Yes.
Before Shark Tank. Yeah.
Okay. So we did one round before Shark Tank. Then Shark Tank wrap happened, and then.
How was the overall experience of Shark Tank?
I think it was pretty interesting, right? I think if people have seen the episode, I think the iconic moment of Doglapan really came from our episode. So that was very interesting.
It started from there.
Yeah.
The Doglapan was started from there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I was not knowing.
That happened in the Bummer episode.
So you are the part of that meme.
Yeah, part of a meme, and a book has been written on it.
Yeah.
Wow. Ashneer has written a book which is actually called.
Though I thought there was nothing Doglapan in what you had done in that. I personally saw that thing. So there was maybe he created that word and maybe just created hype out of it.
Yeah, it's also I think a word that most of India heard it for the first time and it just caught on. Right?
Yeah.
It's like Zomato. It doesn't exist, or it's a unique word that large part of people heard for it first time, and then it's like just a contagious.
No, but I really like that you didn't got threatened. The way he was coming over you.
I was very nervous in that moment.
Achha, you were nervous?
I was very nervous in that moment.
You don't saw it, so that was pretty good.
It was very, very tight moment for me.
Okay.
Because I think the first thing is that we've never been on camera, right? And especially so many cameras, bloody giant ass set, sitting in front of and basically putting your business on the line, right? So it's the first time. Most people in India obviously did not have the experience of being on Shark Tank because we were in season 1. It was just the early stages of them also building Shark Tank for the first time. So everything was so new, and usme bhi you get a full bashing on live TV, and there's no cuts and stops.
Right? It's a live TV.
You are live rolling all the time.
Okay.
They shoot you for 45 minutes.
Okay.
On TV, they obviously air 15 minutes of it, which is the edited sequence of it. But the entire show is absolutely non-scripted in a way where कि ठीक है आप अच्छा ये बोल दिया आप cut करो, let's retake this shoot. It's not that, right? It's not a film.
It was a new season, so you were never prepared for it.
Absolutely not.
Now people going there must be prepared for it. That okay, this is going to happen. They are going to bash you.
Though there are so many people who would reach me on LinkedIn saying that hey, saw you on Shark Tank season 1. We've got selected for this season 2, season 3. Can we try and chat with you and understand how was the experience, what will happen, kya hoga, kya nahi hoga types, right? So I think now people can draw that learning. When I went, I did not have anyone to speak to कि यार क्या हुआ तुम्हारे साथ, right? So I think it's okay. It was a good experience, but I think what was important that
branding you got.
Obviously we came out with a deal as well. So
that was a great thing. But I think going to Shark Tank itself is a big thing for branding, I guess.
Yeah.
You must have got some I was speaking with couple of friends here and like okay, we are doing a podcast with Bummer. Oh yeah, we have heard they have into Shark Tank. So I would say 70-80% of people have heard your brand. Yeah. Maybe they not be your customer as of now, but everyone has heard your brand.
Yeah. No, so I think I think a lot of people heard about it. What the larger part of the problem statement is that people think okay, Bummer Shark Tank, ठीक है. But I think for us it's very important to realize at this point in time, and for people to realize that we as a brand we are way beyond what Shark Tank is, right?
Of course.
In terms of what we do as a business, not in terms of our size, scale, anything, but we are a brand more than Shark Tank, right? Obviously, it's such a big moment in our lives as a brand. क्योंकि Bummer Shark Tank पे आया था. Now everybody's correlation is अच्छा Bummer ये तो Shark Tank वाला है, right?
But
it's good and bad. It's good
also, no? Because people see it's people recall your brand in that way. See, the Bummer, the name itself is exciting, and I thought it's nice name you caught up with. Yeah. So it's easy to remember. That is the one of the best part of your name. It's easy to remember. It's like easy to recollect.
Yeah.
You know, certain brands are like bloody kaun sa tha. So recently I bought some leather jacket.
Okay.
Untamed or untamed, still I can't recall their name. It's untamed or untanned or some so difficult name that if I want to tell someone that go and buy from this brand,
you will not be able to recall
even it. I don't recall that, what was that brand, because the spelling itself was a bit difficult.
Okay.
So it's sometimes it's so difficult. So in that way I feel that Bummer is so easy to remember and people would easily,
Yeah. And I think that's the idea, right? I think having a name that
how did you came up with this name? It must be some interesting. Have coffee.
Yeah. So I think for us the name was, so we did a pretty large branding exercise when we started off, right? So my approach towards starting the brand was very straightforward, right? I mean, not like okay, I know of I've thought of a name. I think this is what it should be called. Let's design a logo and let's start the brand, right? So I think we did a full branding exercise about 8-9 months.
9 months.
Yeah, it lasted long. Obviously,
No, but the name was before the branding exercise or after the name?
Name was part of the branding exercise.
Okay, so what other names was thought of?
Oh, we had, I had a full list of 20, 30, 40 names, I guess.
Okay.
And they were not really my suggested names also, right?
Okay, of course, we asked for people's opinion.
I was thinking of too many names. However, I was working with a freelancer who kind of ended up doing my logo, branding, visuals, the communication, the storyline, everything, right? Basically. And I think Bummer was a part of his kind of recommendation.
Okay, nice.
In a name of 40-50 names, this was this one name that kind of really was shining.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why this stood out for me, right? It was A, very cool name.
Of course.
B, meant something which has a very negative meaning in the English language. Bummer means disappointment. It's got a negative feeling, right? And I think my immediate recollection to this was like so many examples. Like a perfume is called Poison, for example, right? I think when you do this, it has a direct feeling to the consumer's emotions. Here, why negative?
Why negative?
And for us, the philosophy was here, the whole industry and the whole product category in India for the last 30-40 years has been so disappointing. वो black, blue, white and grey chaddi बिक रही है. So Bummer more than us was a note to the industry saying that hey, we are here now, we are going to change the industry.
We are going to change the landscape.
And I think last cherry on top was कि Bummer के नाम में वो bum भी था. तो underwear से directly correlates directly with underwear, right? So I think that really helped us.
That really helped.
Yeah.
No, that's so. One of the thing on your website we saw was about Bummer Buddy. What is Bummer Buddy?
Interesting. So Bummer Buddy was a project that we'd been trying to get off the ground practically since day one.
Okay.
When we first started doing influencer marketing, content building, etc., with our influencers, I think we did some campaigns, small scale campaigns, influencer campaigns. What we realized was that when you work with an influencer once or one time association, as we call it, the impressionability, the reachability to their followers is very, very limited, right? Because I think either they put up a story, they put it on their feed. Okay, people have seen it in about a 8 to 10 hours span, and it's gone away from most of their followers' feeds, right? So I think for you to be able to recollect that brand is that first impression कि okay, मैंने Instagram खोला, I saw this post, I saw the brand that they are wearing or promoting, and I'm done, right? Like if I like it, I like it. If I'm not, I move past that post and I'm done. So I think to kind of solve this problem with content creation and influencer marketing, what we decided, we'll pick certain few influencers, we'll invite people to become part of the program.
Okay.
At Bummer Buddy, what you can do as a consumer, as a creator, as anybody, come join our program. We start off with you for about 3 months. That's the minimum committed timeline. Okay. But what that really helps us do is that you as a consumer, as a content creator, build content for our brand once, twice, thrice, every month for 3 months.
Okay.
And I think what we kind of really saw there was that if I'm building content once a month and it's gone, sure, okay, few followers noticed it. Second month, फिर से brand, वही same brand I'm promoting. Okay, few more people are now starting to recollect, okay, this happened last month as well, right? The third month, if that again happens, so my reach to deliverability ratio of that particular content is at an all-time high when it happens at the third month. So for my followers to be able to kind of recollect that, hey,
you're constantly hammering them the same brand name again.
It's like showing you an ad, right? It's like it's literally like showing you an ad, for example. If you see an ad once today, very easy to move past it. If you see that ad multiple, either you get annoyed, or either you shop from it, or either you just block that brand.
Block that ad.
It's either of these three things that can happen, right? Yeah. So with content creation and with influencers, I think doing it once or twice for every 3 months continuously,
then they are your Bummer Buddy.
Then yes, exactly. So those are my Bummer Buddies. But the idea is obviously my consumer is not the creator. My consumer is their followers, right?
Of course.
So I have to. So what I am trying to do is build for their followers and not for the creator themselves. And same way.
So we did one podcast with one of other lingerie brands. So what they told us, like we don't pay lot of money. Mostly their branding is done through barters. So what is it in your case? Is it done a lot of barters, or do you have to pay a lot of in influencer marketing?
We like to pay. I think because that's also the kind of creators that we want to work with.
High-end creators, they don't work
on and I think, see, it's a very subjective industry. Sometimes if the creator likes the brand, they'll also probably want to work with you on barter. Sometimes if they just want to do it for the money, they'll do it for the money, right? I mean, so I think it's a very subjective topic, but for us, I think it's about working with great creators who deliver great content, because see, if you do barter, and content अच्छा नहीं आया, you can't go back to them and say कि अच्छा इसको revise करो, ये अच्छा नहीं है, ये भी अच्छा नहीं है, ये time पे post करो. You can't make demands if you're not paying them in the first place, right? So I think when a great win-win situation is when the creator is already like a very well-established or a decently established creator. They have great content building abilities. They know their follower base very well, and usually those are the kind of people who, for the large part, do not work on barters. But that's also where a large part of the good content comes from. So I think our idea is philosophy is rather simple, where we prefer to work with large part of paid value added creators, I would say, rather than paid. And sure, we do some barters, but
have you signed up any celebrities or any planning?
Not at the moment. I think as a brand, we're still fairly early in our journey to work with celebrities, and I think that's also. I think celebrities make a lot of sense when you have a very, very large offline presence, right? I think because
offline presence is required.
It's definitely not required, 100%. I think I speak from Bummer's POV
perspective,
where I think building brand in offline for the masses, for the consumer that's not even digital yet, or for the consumer that is digital but is either uncomfortable with online payments, either uncomfortable with delivery issues, or wants quick service, etc.
Still that kind of people do exist today, because the generation. I think one question is like, what is your customer segment?
So our broad level of a consumer, about 80% of our consumer volume is between the ages of about 18 to 30.
Why not catch up them early, 13, 14?
I think getting into a teen sort of a market is a very different product strategy altogether, very different brand strategy altogether, and also large part of purchase decisions at that point are made by parents, right? So I have to basically target the consumers, right? At 13, 14, that's not the consumer that's paying me, right? The consumer is the...
I have a kid of 13. He's of my same height and body like me. Okay. So I think it could be a good target for you, because they are always on Insta and Snap.
Yeah. Do they make purchases themselves? Does your kid
they tell me, Dad, I want to buy this. Dad, I want to buy this.
So like he
forced me to buy this Nike's Jordan. He forced me to buy a lot of brands. Now he's forcing me, Dad, I want this, Dad, I want that. Maybe so that could, because now they are making their own decisions.
Yeah.
It's not like parents are making. So at 13, 14, because I have a kid of 13, I can tell you that. So he is making his decisions, especially in clothing. So because your brand is, so maybe targeting them early could be even more beneficial, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that's still a smaller percentage of the large consumer base of India.
Looking for,
and I'll tell you why. Because I think our product is operating in the slightly premium sort of a category, right? Today we sell one pair of underwear for about 450-500 rupees roughly, right?
Is it premium?
We're super premium for the Indian market.
Is it not the same pricing goes like in the underwear, or is it cheaper normally other brands?
No. So if you look at the largest part of India's brands, I mean the top 5 that kind of dominate India's underwear ecosystem, they are all, I would say, sub 300 rupee brands, at least for the large part of their SKU range, right? Now everybody has introduced premium collections and super premium luxe collections and all those things, of course. But I think large part of their revenue still comes from their mass affordable product ranges, right, which are there. So see, the entire market is sub 300 rupees. Like even for someone like a jockey, 250-300 is where the average ASP should follow for at least where the mass offline sort of play really happens. Online, I'm sure
It's a different ball
it's
game.
a different ball game altogether, right? But the money is also in offline. Right? It's still.
But do you guys are you into offline market or not?
We're picking up, right? I mean, we've activated about little under 10 stores at this point in time across the country.
So is it
these are not EBOs, these are MBOs, multi-brand stores.
Okay, so you're just supplying.
So we basically have shelf space inside these stores, right?
Okay, interesting.
We'll probably have a couple of EBOs by the end of this year. It's, our own stores, very small, cute, experiential
You're planning
stores.
your own stores. That's interesting.
I think we want to kind of do that, right? Because I think it's a good experiment to have.
Plus branding exercise it would.
And I think it's a good learning curve for us to understand how our consumer reacts to the product in an offline space. If you think about today offline world, you walk into a lingerie store or an innerwear store, finding something very funky, very quirky, finding couple matching sets, finding a brand that caters to both men and women with the same level of enthusiasm and youthfulness. You'll not find a single brand in the offline space today that does that.
So your target is couples also? Bigger targets?
Yeah. So I think couples are interesting for us, right? I think because to solve for MOQ, manufacturing MOQs, we use the same prints, the same fabrics to cover all our men's, women's, undies, everything, right? And that basically gives birth to a very interesting concept of matching underwear.
Matching underwear, which was never there before.
Yeah, exactly. So that really helps, right? Because I think, and especially
young
generation, right? New couples, people who are just dating, college-going kids who are dating each other on campuses, etc., etc. It becomes a very fun thing, intimate thing to do.
Or maybe it could be great gifting thing.
Great gifting. So again, Valentine's
Day is coming.
Huge. People are so bloody tired of giving roses and chocolate boxes and perfumes and whatnots, right? This becomes such an interesting gift for consumers to give to their partners for Valentine's Day. So yeah, I think that's
with these stores, how many different do you sell on Amazon, Flipkarts, everywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So as of now, I mean, about 85-90% of our current order volume comes from our own website.
80% is from your own website?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. We've built it that way, right? And I think that's what we wanted to build from day one anyways. We wanted to own the consumer. We wanted to own the consumer experience more than anything. And I think that was only possible by doing it.
How did you create the trust of buying from site? So personally, I would say about myself, okay? So I wanted to buy an Essex shoes, okay? What I did was I went onto their website. Buying the shoes where if the size doesn't fit or something, you have to return back. Yep. I thought, let me buy through Essex website. I went there. I tried calling them on their number or something to just check what kind of customer support they are having. Nobody picked up the call. At that moment, right away, I went to Myntra and bought it from there.
Okay.
So for me, Myntra is something where I'll buy something, I know, guarantee it will come. I won't have to do any follow-ups. If it doesn't like the brand, I'll automatically return back to them. No question asked. Within 10 minutes, I'll get the money back. That kind of mentality I'm having, why I am buying through Amazon and Myntra. I'm a big fan of Myntra, big fan of Amazon. I don't, I even buy my toothbrush also online. So I'm always afraid of buying through direct D2C brand. That okay, what kind of support they will give me afterwards, what kind of after sales service or something will come in. Through these big brands, you get all that thing. So how do you manage this thing?
I would tell you that you are absolutely right. I think most D2C brands have not solved for the right kind of support, but I think it's getting easier by the day. Today with Amazon, you have to go on their website. If anything, right, like you do on the app itself, you place a return request, etc. Money comes back into your account, straightforward, right? I think most D2C brands have built similar experiences as of now, right? So if today you go on Bummer's website as well, so very simple. On the website, in the footer, if you go down, start a return or an exchange process, right? It's there in our menu itself. So if you want to return or exchange an item, it's a completely website enabled process. Everything on my website, you don't have to speak to anyone, you don't have to discuss with anyone. My entire support chat is on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Which for most D2C brands today are opting for that, right?
Yeah.
So I think what the exciting thing that most D2C brands have done today is that all chats have moved to WhatsApp, right? And I think that's very interesting and very exciting channel for us. If you're scamming a consumer, sure, कि reply नहीं आएगा,
exactly,
right? But sure, you could be right. I have very little data or knowledge to back this up.
Okay.
But most D2C brands that I have bought from myself, sure, replies and responses and systems and processes not the same as what you would get on an Amazon or a Myntra.
Yeah, of course, that's
right.
The thing.
Like, I mean, if you chat on Amazon today, you'll probably be connected to an agent in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And not right now. Even if you do that at 4 a.m. in the morning, you'll have an agent with you in like literally 5 seconds.
To you. Exactly.
Yeah. So obviously our systems are, and I think as a younger consumer, I go in with that mindset. Ki, theek hai, I have a problem with one of my orders. I'll speak to the brand. Or chat with the brand, email the brand, etc. And it's okay if they don't get back to me for a day. It's okay, right?
But now the problem with the consumer is like they want immediate responses. Like I always want immediate response that somebody needs to be there, because see, it's not only about I don't mind you getting back in 24 hours, but then maybe I will forget.
Yeah.
So if you're not replying me back,
if it's on WhatsApp, if it's on WhatsApp,
it would be immediate.
Helps you. If it's on email, quite likely, your Gmail has 4 inboxes in the first place. Promotions, updates,
etc. Where it will go, you don't know.
You don't remember, right? Like you don't remember, right? But I think on WhatsApp, 100%, that's the one thing that most Indians today check on a literally real time.
What are your support hours as such?
So our support hours are from 10 a.m. to about 7 p.m.
Okay.
We have
Monday to Sunday?
Monday to Saturday. We
Monday
don't work
to Saturday,
on Sundays.
no Sunday,
Yes.
of course.
Obviously, if there's season time, like let's say Valentine's Day, my team will work on Sundays as well.
Okay.
But apart from that, it's absolutely okay, right? We have an email channel live. We have a WhatsApp channel live. It's there on our website.
Well, how is your return process as such?
So with underwear, it's a complicated process, right? Firstly, I mean,
do you take returns first of all? Because when I buy through Myntra and Amazon, they say that for undergarments no returns.
Yeah. So for us, right? I think it's a fairly flexible policy. If you have any size issues, we'll typically just send you a free replacement of sorts, right? Because given the fact that we know you already tried the product, etc., so there's no point kind of taking it back. This is again only valid if this is your first order with us.
Okay.
Sure, a consumer could then come and scam us ki har baar alag ID se alag naam se.
And they always get a 2 pair.
If we try to micromanage that, I think it's a never-ending process. It's a never-ending.
So similar case of problem I discussed with one other brand, as I told you. So they said that there is a 2% of such kind of scamming happens. What kind of percentage you believe it must be happening with you?
0.00001%.
There is no problem.
Right? I think yeah, and also I think large part of depends on the kind of consumers you attract also, right? And also the kind of product and items you're selling at the end of the day, right? If I'm selling 50 rupee keychains on the internet today, I'm going to attract that kind of an audience, and I'm going to have to deal with that kind of an audience. I'm selling a 500 rupee pair of underwear for which the consumer has paid me. It's a premium product. So my consumer is also sensible enough ki boss, how should I deal with the brand? How should I tackle the brand, right? So I think
it's more on
the diversity of consumer if is very interesting in India.
How do you target that kind of audience?
It's across the board, right? I think our consumer has been built over time. People have referred someone, people have seen bummers.
No, but is special. So mostly your marketing would be through Insta or FB?
Yeah.
What kind of percentage of marketing? How is it divided?
So I think it's very widely divided at this point in time. Paid media forms about 50-60%, roughly 60% of
60% is the paid media.
Is what our paid media really forms. Beyond that, obviously, it's our organic efforts on SEO.
Does SEO work in undergarments?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty well.
So what kind of keywords people are searching?
Everything, right from men's underwear, soft underwear, funky printed underwears.
Okay.
So many couple underwear.
Couple underwear, that kind of brand people are searching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big keyword interesting keyword for us, right? So couple underwear, buy men's underwear online. Obviously, your basic search terms are always
basic term is
non-branded generic is always there, right? And that's got the highest level of volume as well. But it's been interesting for us, Bummer, to come back and kind of start ranking more or less on page 1 for large part of these branded and non-branded keywords. Branded, to chalo, obviously that goes without saying.
Goes to it will come up, no? Bummer if you searching.
Bummer, exactly. So anything Bummer, Shark Tank, Bummer, India, Bummer.
I was searching for your Bummer, and some of your competitors are pushing your Google AdWords. I saw that also.
Yeah.
You are getting a strong competition in that.
It's tough, because I think with Google there is currently no kind of
such policy that
kind of helps you go beyond that, right? I mean, sure, you can take it up internally, but there's no legality at this point in time that protects you, right?
So you have to live with it.
Yeah, it's okay.
So how is the marketing different for male and female segment?
I think we do a very gender neutral marketing at this point in time, to be very honest. I think we want to kind of build the overall sense of the brand first, and because there could be very different success ratios for both, right? If I build a marketing philosophy for men consumers and that works phenomenally well, but if I build something for women and that doesn't really do well, I think over a period of time that share kind of imbalances itself.
So you're doing all neutral marketing.
So as of now, yes, I think once we have a very fair understanding of where the consumer is, who the consumer is, which we've started getting obviously at this point in time, but we want to kind of further build on this. We want to also build more products that make sense for either consumer individually, right? I think we've done little justice to the women's consumer at this point in time.
It's more of a male consumer targeted.
Men roughly form about 55%, 60% of our consumers, and then obviously
45% is female.
Is what women are. But we want to kind of have a more healthier balance here.
What could be the reason? Why male are more and female are less? Or is it
general online shoppers are
mostly male more than female? That's why. Okay, that's the thing. So it's not that your brand is attracting more women, but women consumers are less compared to male.
No, women consumer I think are
increasing, but comparatively it would be less.
Phenomenally large. It's how the brand would be built, and I think women consumers today form such a large part of the online shopping. I mean, if you think of brands like Nike, etc., there's so many Instagram pages that they buy from. There's your Mishos of the world that they buy from. There's so many online women's clothing accessories brands that are doing phenomenally well, right? So women are amazing consumers, but is buying underwear online one of their priorities? No. For men, yes. Right? Because
maybe is it due to the size and fit that doesn't matter much for male, which matters for female more?
100%, yes. And for women, loyalty also is a big criteria. Younger men will change their loyalty like this.
Okay.
I mean, any brand you say, right? Like you could be wearing a t-shirt from Zara. Tomorrow you can wear a t-shirt from H&M also, and third day you can wear a shirt from
whatever fits or
you
looks
don't
good.
Care.
Yeah, whichever looks good,
you don't care, right? Yeah. But I think when it comes to underwear, you will probably have the same brand.
Yeah. From Aegis, I have same brand wearing from Aegis.
Correct, exactly. And now what we've seen with younger men is that they'll have 2-3 different brands of underwears in their wardrobes, or 4 brands also in their
4 brands. Wow.
Yeah, boxers are from Soul Store, briefs are from, let's say, another competing brand, trunks are from some brand, right? Raat ko sone ke liye pajamas are from some brand. You know, whatever, right? So I think that's how the younger men are thinking, and it's not just like, so for example, with the older generation, it will be like, okay, I wear briefs, the V-cut underwear, then I'll only have 10-20 pairs of the same thing. With the younger generation, what we've seen is that they carry everything. If they want to play sports, they'll be wearing trunks. If they want to sleep at night, they'll be wearing boxers. If they're wearing formals, they'll probably be wearing briefs. Right?
How so in such a market, any idea how do you create a brand where you have a strong followers that okay, people wear they'll buy this only?
Yeah, no, I think that's the important part. I think only the silhouette changes of the product, right? I think at Bummer we sell everything for men and women. So for men, right from briefs, trunks, boxers. Women, obviously your bikinis and hipsters and boy shorts and everything. So it's a multi-purpose driven brand at the end of the day from a product range perspective. I will offer you any format of underwear that suits your needs, whether you want to do yoga, whether you want to do wear it for your daily wear, whether you want to go hiking, whether you want to do XYZ activity, or whether you just want to wear something loose and go to sleep. So I think building that multi-purpose approach with the product ranges, which
maybe you'll have to come with lot more product ranges.
Yes.
That
it
could
needs
be
to
the
be
key.
way more deeper for the brand to come full circle on men, women, children, everything, right?
Then there will be kind of a
that's
loyalty
the
that
journey.
all wardrobe is having everything of yours.
Correct. That's the journey, right? Like
That's
I think, and that's the journey that probably takes 10-15 years, 10-15 years from now, right? But I think we'll get there.
So what? So I would come to one last question. What are your future plans on e-commerce and towards a brand and towards going offline?
Yeah, I think few things that we really want to kind of try and do over the next 5 years broadly is build a very large offline base. I think it's going to come with the right set of capital.
One question, sorry. How is your like city wise tier 1, 2, 3, like as you say, how is that divided?
So I think tier 1 obviously, I would not say tier 1. I would say the top 10-20 cities of India, 10-15 cities of India typically form about 50 to 55% of our overall sales volume.
Okay.
Which is not just your metros, right? Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore types. It also includes Ahmedabad, it also includes Pune, Chandigarh, Hyderabad, Surat, everything, right? These kind of cities typically form about 50% of our volume.
Okay.
And then I think another about 30% of our volume kind of comes from tier 2 cities, sort of, right? Like Bhopal and Patna and
all that.
Coimbatore and whatnots.
Do you get sale for some small villages which you have never heard of?
Yes, exactly, right. I was just coming to that, and I think about 10-12% of our sale does come from those kind of places. I mean, the kind of places you would have never heard of, right? Like we've delivered more than about, I would say, about 1,000 orders till date. Obviously in our 3.5 year journey, we've delivered about 1,000 plus orders to Andaman Nicobar also.
Wow!
Right? We've delivered a couple of 100 orders to Lakshadweep, which is recently being very highlighted because of
Modi ji promoting.
Right? Which gives you the thought, have we gone there? Like have we sent orders there? Right? So it's a fresh data that's come to light. But yeah, so I think
so I think in your expansion, when you are saying expansion thing where you want to go offline, so this tier 2 cities will come in more picture. So you want to to reach out to that audience.
Yeah,
you will have to go brick and mortar.
Yes, 100%. Right, and I think the strategy has to be multifold. Right, it has to be a strategy that kind of translates. Tier 1, obviously and in tier 1 obviously your metros as well. Metros are sort of core focus, but also you get lost in the competition there. Tier 2 is, or rather I would say your sub tier 1 is what I would like to call it, right? They're not essentially your metros, and sub tier 1 is a great definition for me to put Ahmedabad, Surat, even someone like a Baroda, Pune, obviously in Pune, Nasik, Nagpur, Indore, Chandigarh of the world on the map, right? And I think that sub tier 1 is a very exciting market for us, because I think that's where large part of today's consumerism is happening, either online or either offline. And I think that's where a large part of our consumer today resides. What will be great for us on our offline strategy would be your college towns, college cities. Right, that's again large part of our consumer. We get so many orders. placed directly on campuses, right?
On campuses,
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
okay.
right. Like I mean, someone who's ordering from some engineering college, business college, medical college, etc., right? And you're delivering to room number this, ye wala hostel, iske ye city.
But don't you face some logistic problem because if they are ordering COD or something?
I think all colleges are well connected. From
so
like
what kind of percentage would be COD and?
So about 80% of our volume today is prepaid.
Okay, 80% prepaid.
And about 20% of our volume is COD.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of product range, are you planning some new brands or some more products?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of products on the pipeline this year.
Okay.
We are working on
interesting.
Yeah, we're working on. So I think when it comes to the product, I think our philosophy is very simple. I don't want to become an apparel brand.
Okay.
Right. Kal jaake if I make everything from shoes to outerwear to jackets to everything.
No.
Sure, we'll have those as accessories and merchandise as an ancillary product. Our core focus will always remain on underwear.
Underwears, okay.
We want to be an underwear brand. We want to be known as an underwear brand. Okay. So my philosophy and focus over the next 24 months is to further horizontally expand into underwear.
Okay.
Play with different fabrics, play with different styles, play with different collections. Go as deep as kids underwear, teens underwear, senior underwear as a matter of fact, if we can
that
possibly right?
Yeah.
But build horizontally for underwear.
Okay.
Build that philosophy first, and then kind of offer other products as sort of ancillary. But I'm very clear in my thesis that I always want to be known as an underwear brand. Right? I don't want to be known as an apparel brand.
Properly focused on this.
Yes. 100%. Right? I think do one thing, but do one thing amazingly well.
That's interesting.
Right?
Like that guy said to Hrithik Roshan, if you're cutting a grass, then just cut it properly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Chalo, good luck with your new products and all that. And thanks for coming here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye.